I think I'm the worst person for that.
So the question is, did you ever doubt your ability? And ways that you, in what way did you, and in what way did you actually doubt your ability? Yeah, so let's talk about the doubt itself.
I am the worst person to doubt I'm the first person to doubt my ability. I've never, like when you asked about asking a professional, it was like, I'm a professional. It just hasn't dawned on me. Even though I am.
So funny.
It's just, I don't see myself that. I know it's really weird. I still feel like, whether it's because I'm always learning, whether because I'm younger at heart, that I don't know. But I am a professional.
Oh, absolutely.
So what was it? How do I doubt myself?
In what ways do you doubt yourself?
So generally it will happen if I've had a negative experience with a client. In the past, when I was first starting, it often used to be when we would get the fashion magazines that were advertised in, and I would constantly compare myself to the other bridal houses. I would bring that down in myself. Okay. Like I'm my own worst enemy for it. If there are occasionally days, which now I know, no matter how much, even if I've got it, so now I've realised, for instance, like with my health and that, which I've realised over the years, but especially from last year, if I find that there is a day where I wake up and I'm feeling very anxious, which happens with women, usually once a month, I've now realised to listen to my body, because no matter what I do that day, I'll make mistakes.
Okay.
I could spend hours doing something which should only take maybe an hour.
Yeah.
And then in the end I have to unpick the whole thing. But I think because I'm physically doing it, I'm actually working. And so I've now learned that if I feel, a lot of the time we do a lot of extra work on clients' dresses, like the dress will evolve. So I have a certain amount of clients that I put a certain amount of hours aside for. And then they might say, look, let's go ahead and put the lace in. And now I've got to sort of, not wiggle that in, but I'll still try to keep to the same timeline, which now I don't put that pressure on myself anymore. The clients, we book their appointments so far ahead, and I say to them, look, if I say to a recent client, might have a client coming in about 2 or 3 days, I say, look, I haven't had a chance to get your dress to where we're at. We may need to postpone because we've got a client who's getting married in 2 months' time. And they've always been fantastic. They're always like, great. Okay. So with the self-doubt, if I used to in the past feel like I had to be superwoman, I had to be able to be the mother, be the wife, do everything in the same time frame, which was impossible. Yeah, absolutely. And so because I still tried to stick to that, I tried to be like not change it in any way, very hard on myself, that obviously things would start to break down, and then that self-doubt would creep back in again. I'm on my happy tablets, so I see things a bit clearer now, and I think also because I'm older, I think there's a bit of wise, as you get older you become a little bit more
So
wise.
do you think it's understanding who you are and how you
absolutely,
like that knowledge in that comes with age and being in this skin for so long, and putting strategies in place that work for you?
Well, there's strategies in play in workplaces where they're now saying that a woman, when it's around that time of the cycle, their brain, they think differently. They might be depressed. They might, and that they need to that women need to actually be more in tune with their health, to the point where I've read that they might, like where bosses are now being more lenient on them, saying, "Well, have that day off, make up for it another day." Okay. As when I first started work, I remember I was doing some modelling then, and I asked if I could take these 2 days off. Not only was I not even allowed to take the 2 days off, and I was going to make it up otherwise. They were so strict and stringent. But now, mental health and physical health is so important in the workplace to keep the employees, that they're letting them have a mental health day. I never gave it to myself. I would push through it.
So you're learning now that
I'm definitely
to prioritise your health, and to listen to
listen
your
to your
health,
body,
and know the strategies, what to do when you're feeling.
I mean, there are times when I can't help myself and I want to do some extra work. So if I get a sore back, I just pop my nighttime back tablet so I can keep going. But
you know the consequences.
I know the consequences.
And you choose to have that consequence
Yes.
and then deal with it later. But that's more of a choice now,
yeah,
would you
it
say?
is.
That's
It's definitely a choice, yeah.
Mm.
So, with the... Oh, sorry, what was the question again?
It was more, in what ways did you doubt your ability? And then moved on to what helped you become more confident?
Okay. More confident was definitely experience.
Yeah.
A few things. It was experience, age. I think it's weird because there's no way, I don't know, whether you hit 50 and you start thinking, you think differently. I don't know. You get to a certain, and you think, why am I, whether it's because you think, okay, I've only got X amount of time left, do I still really want to run around? Your values change as to what's important. Work is still definitely important.
Yeah.
But actually since moving here, because this is such a calming place, except for obviously the COVID issue afterwards, I'm not putting that much anywhere near as much pressure on myself. So I now have a little bit more of that work-home balance. Yeah. And that's made it a lot better.
Okay, so finding that balance was a priority for you?
It was always in the back of my mind, but I always used to push it away because I always kept thinking, if I don't succeed at work, everything's going to fall apart. Okay. So I did quite often used to put work first. When the kids were little, there were times when they were at home and they'd fall asleep in their crib thing or whatever, and I didn't get to spend much time with them. But then as they got older, I always made sure that I didn't take on too much work, because by that stage I had some employees that could help with some of it. So when they had their after school activities, I was able to go with them. It was literally only a few weeks ago, and it might have only been last week, because I always felt guilty that they didn't have enough of my time. The guilt of not being a really good mum and being there for everything was always in the back of my mind, and I always felt like I wasn't there enough for the kids, because I'm always the first person to blame me, put myself down. And then I was having a look at some old photos and videos, and I realised, oh my God, I was there for all of that. I made sure that when they finished school, I was there to pick them up if they had something that they needed to talk
I remember
about.
you always prioritised that was so important to you, and you spent so much time with my kids, that you would always take on my boys and do creative stuff with them,
and in the afternoon when they go to sport, I'd join their sport, we'd do it together as a family, and then there would be times when they'd come home and then maybe I might have to do a bit of bookkeeping or something, or in the morning I used to get up early before they'd get up and do some bookkeeping and stuff. Now I have someone to help me with all of that, which I don't like doing.
And that's the advantages, isn't it? Of being.
So how did I get over that? Was that
what helped you become more confident in, not just in this profession, but also just. Well, yes, in the profession,
I really think
but
it's
also
age. I think it's maturity. And I think talking to you, having my friendship group and listening to how they deal with things, and we can talk to each other about things. Talking to my husband, but I really think it's almost, I don't know. It's happened. It feels like it's happened gradually. Okay, it's happened gradually, but it feels like it's just been.
Just suddenly happened as well.
But I think it's just all sort of accumulated bit by bit, and then suddenly it's all just fallen into place.
Do you think it's perhaps because it's been so busy up until that point, and now you can go, okay, and you've got a bit of breathing space, so you can look back and go,
there was always these little steps. I'm very much to stop myself from being anxious or having anxiety or stressing out over certain things that I don't need to stress over, but I used to. I always had goals. So I remember being in the shower of a morning going, when we had the active, we're going, okay, I have to have 20 shots by the end of this year, so we can focus on, so I would always have set myself these goals. So with the bridal wear, it'd be like, okay, I need to do either this many dresses or, say a dress might take the amount of time of 2 dresses, then money value-wise, saying, okay, I need to do roughly this many or this many hours or whatever. And then also readjusting it each month. And knowing, okay, if I'm tired and I've got these girls booked monthly and this weekend coming, there's I've got no one say I've only just started this last year they got used up, but this year as well, where once a month I have a weekend off. But that weekend off often either gets filled with girls when we're doing extra work, and if it doesn't, then I have a weekend off. Or it's then often used as a catch-up for things. So now if I find that I'm a little bit ahead, I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm not going to stress over why am I not working today. I'll go and experiment on something. And I now getting back into becoming healthy again has really helped. So if I have a stressful day with a particular bride, I find I have to go to my class this afternoon because I know I'm going to feel better after it.
And that's prioritising your health and being aware of the triggers, I suppose. And that feeling of, okay, it's starting. I need to take time out.
Sorry. I'm having problems with my op, as in I